We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for other myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices, I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, they wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening and welcome to NUFC Matters, the fans forum. It is Monday night and all is well in Newcastle United world. Another contract dished out today. Young Alex Murphy has committed his future to the club. It's a long-term contract to remain at Gallagher's. 19 years of age, Ireland Youth International, signed from Galway United, of course, in 22-23. He's made 20 appearances for the under-21s, featured for the first team in the pre-season games, of course, and has also had brief substitute outings in the Premier League home wins over Chelsea and Sheffield United. So first signing done, I guess, of the summer. More to come, though. Lots more to come. Lots of rumours flying around. But first, we're going to look back at the game at the weekend. I'm sure, as always, there will be mixed opinions about this game. I'll give you mine first, as I did last night. I thought a draw was a fair result. I thought the referee spoilt what could have been a good game. I genuinely felt that he's probably one of the worst referees we've had this season. I think that our final ball was what let us down. Ultimately, the final ball did let us down at the weekend. And, you know, if we took our chances, I think it might have been a different story. But referee did spoil it for me. I didn't feel as if we did enough to win. And ultimately, Sean Longstaff dug us out of a big hole again. So for those people who've been negative towards Sean Longstaff for best part of this season, that's another goal that's dug us out and got us a point, which could be massively valuable for Europe. So for me, man of the match was Kraft. I know a lot of other people have got other ideas on that. I just loved the way that I didn't even realise, again, it didn't feel like we were missing not only Jamal Lascelles and Sven Botman, but Fabian Schär as well. You know, Kraft did a fantastic job, I felt, and he was ably supported by Lewis Hall at left back. Thought he had a fantastic game as well. Don't think Dubravka had a great deal to do. Unfortunate with a goal, just one of those things. But all in all, I thought a point was a fair result. Manchester United, of course, losing helped us out. Chelsea, as we know, still on a fantastic run. It's all to play for going into the final two games. So it wasn't doom and gloom. A missed opportunity, perhaps, yeah. We could have got another 2 points. But I think we took, most of us, I think, with our predictions last week on this platform, I would say the majority of us took Brighton for granted. I don't think Darren did. I think Darren probably came close with a 2-1 or a 1-1 or something like that. But ultimately, I think we all went for a win. And, yeah, listen, credit to Brighton. They did well. It shows that a team playing for 10th place is still a dangerous opposition. So we've got to be wary. But what part are they going to play in the run-in? They've got to play Chelsea and Manchester United as well. I think they'll have a say on who qualifies for what positions in Europe. George, it was good to see you on Saturday, as always, before the game. Give us your views on the game, mate.
Well, in terms of predictions, I was far away than anybody else because I was 5-0, wasn't I? But Brighton didn't play, did they? They didn't play hooky. They suddenly found their football again when we didn't want them to, and we lost ours. It's as simple as that. There was one or two people are trying too hard, and one or two people. Once Bruno was shackled by Brighton, the Brighton manager certainly done his homework on our team. He did his homework on Dubravka, which was why we got the goal. He knew Dubravka doesn't like to be crowded from corners. He put when Bruno got the ball and wanted to make his beautiful long diagonal passes, there was always either two people or three people in front of him, so he couldn't make the pass, or sometimes two in front and two behind, and all snapping at his heels. So the Brighton coaches had done their job, and then up front they had the most awkward character on the field, Danny Welbeck. I think you've heard me say about it worries me that we don't have many streetwise players in our team. Well, Brighton have a lot of streetwise players, and our manager's streetwise as well. The way they faffed the ball about to waste the time, and with a horrible soft referee who didn't know which his left hand from his right hand. It was awful. I mean, there's passing the ball backwards and forwards between the goalkeeper and when they were getting ready to take the kick. Wasted ages every time they got a goal kick, and he let it happen. The only referee I've seen do anything about that was recently Arsenal tried to do that when the goalkeeper passed the ball to the fullback, rolled it out the fullback picked it up and hid it back, and the referee gave a penalty. And they didn't do it again. But Brighton just, and we've been guilty of game management as well over the past, but not like that. I mean, they get football done away with if we do that all the time. Agree with you, Steve. Emil Kraft was the star for me as well. Good old-fashioned defending, making sure he got his body or his foot in the way when it was necessary, and getting real tackles in. I was surprised at how strong he is. He's not the biggest bloke on the pitch, but by Jove, once he gets his foot behind the ball, he's not going to give it away. So I thought Emil Kraft had a fantastic game. Dan Burn once again demonstrated why he's a centre half, not a fullback. And Lewis Hall. There was lots of good things as well as the negative side of the game, but. Yeah, we just got come up against the Brighton that found their team again, found the way to play again, and they were more streetwise than our lot were. At free kicks, there was always two Brighton blokes in front of the ball, so we couldn't take a quick one, and all that sort of thing. It was quite clear that their manager is streetwise himself. There's no doubt about it, but. They played some decent football. Some of the key ball that they played, very close passing, was from a football point of view was beautiful to watch, but from a Newcastle point of view, hellish frustrating because we just couldn't do what we wanted to do, and because that's their job, isn't it? In terms of others, Isak didn't get any service, so Isak didn't do anything. It's as simple as that for me. Frustrating with on the right side the number of times that what to call them the right side winger
Murphy.
Sorry,
Murphy.
Yes, yeah, Jacob Murphy. Yes, Jacob Murphy. Number of times he got to the byline and did absolutely nothing with it. And then a couple of times he got in a position to take great crosses. And he sent in a bloody exocet that went nearly out of the corner flag the other side of the field. And just that sort of carelessness, is it's hard to accept from the players that's getting the sort of money that they're getting. But that's but he had a number of times he was at the byline and looking to pass back, and just didn't put it in the right area. And that was the other side of it, was that we tried to play the killer ball all the time when there wasn't the space. Brighton didn't give her the space to play the killer ball. It was better to play the simple ball. Even Bruno could have made better if he just played the simple ball and tried to play the killer ball all the time. And so for me, extremely frustrating. But and I agree with you. That for me was the worst referee I've seen for many a year, from all sorts of points of view. He just no control really. He just allowed Brighton to do what they wanted to do, and the only thing he got right was he booked the two divers, which was right. There were two people dived, and he booked them both. I mean, what the hell Miggy was doing? He'd have better staying on his feet and having a shot, or just doing something with the ball. They actually dived to get a penalty he knew he wasn't going to get. That's awful. Don't like that. He'd get fined if I was involved with him. So yeah, disappointing. Some good things. The other thing that concerned me, there was 3 times in the first half. If Brighton, and Danny Welbeck was guilty of it on 2 of the occasions, if Brighton had decided to shoot instead of playing another pass, they would have gone in 2 or 3 down, because they had the position to do it, but they didn't do it. They tried to walk it in essentially, and thank goodness they did, because otherwise we could have been in a real state. We would never have got back from 2 or 3 like we got back from 1. Great day, spoiled by the football. Essentially, a great afternoon in the Irish Centre with everybody, and at the food bank. I've got to say, lads, the helping at the food bank. I'm overwhelmed by the number of people that want to come up and say what a good job you lads are doing on the various platforms, and it's quite heartrending, really, to hear what people say. So. That's all the good things spoiled by a football match.
Kev, first fans forum we've done since you got your new job. Congratulations, mate. Busy week.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah. Had back-to-back finals last weekend. Won it. I had one this weekend. Lost it 2-1. But we got there, the little 7-year-olds. But yeah, thank you for all the kind messages from you lads and things like that. It's just been crazy. It's become effective immediately, essentially. So I've been chucked in the deep end, like pretty much at Old Trafford. I might as well be swimming there. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for me. It's took me 20 odd years to get here in terms of my coaching career, but now I've got a foot in the door, and looking to move forward with it. And like I said, off camera, the club I work for has got some massive news coming out, which I've got to keep tight-lipped about. But once I know that, I'll let you guys know that, because it's going to change the landscape of the football over here. But yeah, it's crazy. Got pretty much a farmer's tan going on because I've been out in the sun all weekend. But going back to the game, I didn't really watch it much. I've seen some of the highlights, seen some of the bits and bobs of the game, and mainly into the second half. But what for me, it was not flip-flops on type of, on the sitting on the beach type of mentality and attitude. But again, it was an opportunity missed, and it looked quite flat. Again, the thing for me was looking at the quality in the final third to actually punish Bournemouth when they give Brighton, when they give us an opportunity to get an attack a goal. I thought for their goal, I thought our defending was very poor. I thought obviously Anderson got the wrong side, and the lad had his pretty much a full handful of his shirt on him, so he couldn't get round to defend it. But again, the reaction time was sloppy. We didn't win the first header, which is always the causes problems, if you will, for the others who are probably flat-footed, expecting somebody like Dan Burn or whoever it was, a big lad, to go win it. But and then Sean Longstaff gets us back into the game. Then you think it's going to be, plain sailing. But fair play to Brighton. They come and done a job, and that's what they had to. That's what they do. They know what that we're pushing for. They've not got nothing to play for. They're playing for money in the division. That's what they're playing for essentially. But it's a Premier League game. They're professionals, so they're not just going to roll over. So yeah, it was again. The words, not disappointed, it's just more of the frustrated, essentially, in terms of we could have got a lot more out of the game if the application was better. It's the start of the games. It's the intensity of playing and controlling in the game right from the start, which is the big problem for me, and it has been pretty much all season. It's been stop-start. in terms of that. But again, at the same time, we've got something to play for, and it didn't look like they wanted to play for it. From what I seen, that's all I get. That it was stop-start. It was we couldn't get into a flow, and we got ultimately probably what we deserved. And if 1-1 is probably a fair result, we didn't lose, so that's a positive. But again, I think it's more 2 points dropped at the end of the day, especially at home.
Okay, did get a few records though. With regard to the goals being scored and stuff. Spenny, I mean, there was a few positives from it, and I guess at the end when the players walked around the pitch, I think they walked around quite quickly. I felt they probably felt as if they let themselves down. And I've got to agree with Tim. I think when we walked into the ground and 2:00 when the team came out, we knew Wilson wasn't playing. I think it probably was disappointing. I think we're all looking forward to seeing Isak and Wilson play together at the weekend, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was a strange one that Wilson won. I'll come to that later. First half, I'll agree with George and yourself. The referee spoke the game totally. I thought the Peruvians ran the game first half. The young lad, the little lad, he boxing from the halfway line to our box. I think he controlled the game, to be honest, in the first half for both sides. The goal, yes, I agree with George. I think they've done the homework on Dubraca with the corner. He doesn't come off the line quick enough to jump for the ball, to catch it or whatever. Anderson was at fault, yes. He turned his back a bit. That's just comes with experience. I thought Anderson was my man of the match, to be honest. He was all over the place for me. He got stuck in, he was running forward, he was all over the place for me. Caddy goal, second goal, our goal. Another record broken, like you just said there, Steve. Over the moon. I was very wondering why Isaac went off in the earlier on, and what Eddie said was that he felt the same as what Wilson was. So if he felt the same as Wilson was, why wasn't Wilson on the bench then? I get my head around that one. But the draw's a draw, and the day just shows how far we've come. We're disappointed with a draw at home against Brighton because Brighton are one of the top teams in that division. And there's no hard games in that division.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Listen, but I think we just all expected a bit too much, and it's one of those things. We got brought back down to earth a little bit, but at least we got a point. Darren, often somebody with an alternative view. What was your view about the game at the weekend?
I'm going to be controversial. I don't think the referee had a good game. I don't think it was that bad, me personally. And a few lads round us said that the same thing. But Brighton do what a lot of teams do when play away to try and waste a lot of times. He was. I watched him carefully. He was trying to. He gave the free kick. He was trying to tell the player why we took the free kick too fast. So he's trying to control the game, but we didn't play well. We didn't turn up. I think you tell him, I don't know, but me once that Anthony Gordon was my man of the match. The worst player on the pitch was Murphy, then followed by Elliot Anderson. I thought he was dreadful. Kraft had a good game. He had a good game. I don't know. We didn't do enough to win the game. We're lucky to get a draw. Brighton could have scored a couple more in the first half. But all in all, just when we got a draw, I'm sure how far we'll come. But just it's one of them things. But I think with the end of the season thing, like the flag display was good, but you can tell at the end of the game when the players walk around it, everybody was just. That's it, end of the season, War flag guy kicked up because he wasn't paying attention to his flag. He's held it down the floor.
Really?
Watching him. But it was, the 3 or 4 will come. It's been a hard season. It's been a good season. To be in top yet, we can't go any lower. So, but it's done good. But overall, the draw was a fair result. It could have been a lot worse. We could have got beat.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to dwell on the conversation about the referee. It's all about opinions. Barry, what was your take on the result against Brighton?
I mean, it's one of those games, isn't it? And for me, I've listened to loads of people talking about the whole thing of them bringing the kids on before. And I don't get that at all. I couldn't see the point in it. I think it took the players' minds off what they were supposed to be there to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a great start. I think I totally agree with having them round at the end and take them round to celebrate the end of the good season with the fans. But what the hell were they thinking? They're supposed to be there to they're supposed to be all wound up and ready to go and ready to get stuck in. And it seemed to mirror that the way we came out, Steve. It was just there was none of the passion that has been there recently. I totally agree with Spenny. Anderson, for me, was the best player on the pitch for us by a long way. Yeah. I was gutted for Isaac. I know Eddie's come out and said he's ill, but he takes our top scorer off who scores goals for fun and sticks bloody Miggy, who can't hit the side of a barn door from 3 foot on. It's like once Almiron came on, I just thought it's 1-1 written all over this. It just they didn't look as though they were ever going to get in it. I've watched.
His idea, Barry, was to bring Barnes on, wasn't he? Barnes through the middle with Gordon's support. And I mean, Miggy was on the outside right, replacing. It was a positive substitution. It just didn't work out. We could have been playing at midnight. I don't think we would have scored again.
I mean, Isaac can create goals out of absolutely nothing. Unless he was absolutely desperate to take him off because he was badly injured. But looking at Isaac's reaction, I don't think he didn't want to come off. It's the first time I've seen him really well and truly peed off that he's the manager's doing it. And I just thought, what the hell's he doing? Wilson, I think that's it for me. We need to write him off. You can't rely on the guy. He's played one game and he's away injured again. He's cost us. I totally agree with you, Steve. I'm not 100% sold on the 4-4-2 idea, but it worked tremendously well with the two of them up front, and I was looking forward to seeing them again. Spenny again's right. Brighton are a decent team. They're not a bad side, and they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew how to stop us, and we just seemed to run out of ideas. For me, it hurts more than the fact it's the last game of the season because they have done so well this season. It would have been nice for them to have a good send-off, but obviously we've got 2 games to go. They've got to pick themselves up and have a real go against Man United because for me, Man U were there for the taking. I think if we play anywhere near we're capable, we can take 3 points off Man United because I'm seriously worried that Chelsea are going to skip past us the way they're going. I think Chelsea have took form right at the perfect moment. I think we've got to get 3 points off Man United if we want to stay where we are. I think Tottenham are gone. I think we've lost that chance and just see what we can do. But I'm going to be sat there with any fingernails left. I think by the time we finish at Old Trafford this week because I'll be that bloody nervous.
I've got to agree with you, Steve Middlemas. Isaac was never in the game, couldn't run the channel. But just everything was great about our game, but just our final ball was poor. It's as simple as that. For me, that was the only thing that let us down. Our final ball. We're trying to walk it in. We didn't give Isaac any support. I think if Wilson and Isaac had played, it might have been a different story. But then with Brighton scoring and with all that game management that they probably learned from us over the last couple of years, then they just did a number on us. And credit to the crowd for not getting frustrated. That was one of those games where it could have been a lot of moaning and groaning and mumbling. And again, there was a quiet spell. There always is in a game. But I thought, considering how that game went, I thought the supporters did well to get this. It was, I didn't leave disappointed and doom and gloom. I've got to be honest. Ian, what is your views on the game of the weekend, pal?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head for me. The referee, honest, like the way that games have been reffed, especially if you look back at the last few games with ourselves, the physical contact side of the game has been let to flow a little bit more. So, unless, if there's a little nudge here, a little nudge there, refs haven't been pulling us up and other teams up as much. There's been a bit more contact allowed. Honestly, if someone farted downwind 15 yards away from someone, he was stopping play, and they just love that, and they just played into that perfectly. He was the game was killed by the ref for me. Like he's soft as you know what. I think we've all watched different games here. Like, and I know there's a few people like Baz agrees with Spenny, but no one's mentioned Lewis Hall. Really, I thought Lewis Hall was excellent. Like I thought he was our best player. I really did. I thought he had a good game. in hard circumstances where they were just killing the game and they didn't want to play football. They came for a draw and they were buzzing that they got it. Positives, like I say, Lewis Hall. Another positive is Brighton could and probably will do that to worse teams than us, and that could they could kill the game against in the next couple of games that they've got, and and do us a favour. So they did it to us at home, and not many people have done that to us at home, really. So.
Yeah, I think they've got Chelsea and Manchester. They've got Chelsea and Manchester United at home. They're going to play a big part in. They're going to play a big part in what happens. And as long as we can go to Manchester United and not get beat, then we
do that. We're in Europe, and let's be honest.
Yeah.
If we go there and get a point or a win, we're in Europe. And a couple of months ago, we'd have all took that because we've had probably one of the worst runs of luck with injuries, the suspension to Tonali, just everything's gone against us this season. And I think this season, wherever we end up, I think we have done excellent to be in this position now. Isak, I think, didn't look on the ball at all, but I could not believe when he took him off. Fair enough, if he's ill, he's ill, and he didn't do anything, but we had no one to come on for him. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I think everyone else has sort of covered what I wanted to say. Last thing I want to say is, and people are probably going to slate us for this, but I was really, really peed off with Wilson. Whether he's got a sore tit or a sore leg or a cold or whatever, I just could not believe that he wasn't there. And I know maybe I'm being out of order.
I was going to say that.
No.
Yeah. He wasn't even on the team photo at the end, was he? Nothing like that.
No. He wasn't.
No sign of him.
I think he's chucked it. I might be wrong, Stephen. I know Pete. I knew when I was thinking. I'm going to say it because I'll be honest. That's the way I felt. I said to Tommy and I said to Emily and the dad, I went, "Is he taking them?
If he's ill,
he's sure was only played, and he might be shit, but he played.
Yeah, but listen, we just don't know. I mean, there hasn't. We've got to go with the club line. We've got to say it.
I think it's time and time again. And I think his nose is. I don't know anybody, and this is just me. I'm completely wrong, and I don't care if I am really. It's got to the point now with me that I just think do one like. He's been a great servant to the club. He scored a lot of goals for us, and I actually love him. But that for me, if someone had shot us and I was him, I would have been there on that bench at least. Also,
well, the other thing, Ian, you're right to say it, because if you look at how he's all the goals he's scored a lot of goals in very short time.
Yeah.
But look at the games he's played and how much he's been paid to play them, and less than 50% of the games he played, he hasn't been there. So
I don't know. Maybe I'm being out of order. But...
No, you're not. We can't afford a player like that, Ian. He's gone for me. That don't care how many goals he scores now. He's gone because he's not there enough.
There'll be a few players gone in the summer. That's for certain. Alan, just finally on the game at the weekend, your views, mate.
I think all of that have really covered it. A majority of things. For me, Anderson was the man of the match. Apart from the mistake he made on the corner for the goal, I thought he was superb. And special mention, Steve, you said it yourself, Kraft. You didn't think he was there for Kraft. I thought he was really solid, and he just stood out for me at the back. What the biggest compliment I can give him is we've hardly missed Shaw being absent. What's the matter with Pope? I really do think we should be playing Pope on Wednesday, but I get the impression I don't think he'll play this season, to be honest. That's Pope. I know I'm standing on Kevin's shoes here, but Brighton tactic was brilliant, because what happened was the goalkeeper got the ball, passed it to the defender, and the defender got the ball. So we pressed on the defender, passed it back to the goalkeeper, and then he whipped it in the midfield for Welbeck. And so there was five players cut out straight away. George was right. We could have been 2 or 3-0 down simply by using that tactic and overcoming the press. It was a great tactic, you could see it throughout the game, and we were worried. And the guy on their side, Sesko, I think it was, he was superb. I'll buy him for them. like Spenny said, I thought he was superb for them. But again, he done a Tom Daly dive in the second half, was, like worthy of Tom Daly, in the second half, and same with Miggy. Just a fraction, lads. That second goal, if Miggy had stayed on side, 2-1. If he's acts bad, Ian, he's bad. I wasn't shocked when he came off because he was really poor for me on the day. So when they changed it to Harvey Barnes and Gordon in the middle and then Miggy on the right, it was a fraction, lads. Just a fraction. As we would have done 2-1, would we have been saying the same thing tonight? I think we would have been all over the moon as 2-1 win. So for me, I was gutted. I mean, the TV was thrown out, the family cat was thrown out, and I was on the floor, and people were moaning about Bruno. I was the same. At 6 o'clock, I was on the floor, nearly crying, because we drew with Brighton, ones each. But everybody's got to realise, between 6th and 8th, we're going to, if we just draw, we're 7th, guaranteed 7th, which was my prediction a few months ago, Steve.
Yeah.
So if we get 6th, I'll be over the moon. I think we can beat Man U. I've said it before. I know we're probably getting onto that, but that's the worst Man U team in 30 years. And I'll be on the floor again. No, and I hope that I'm glad the cat's called Bouncy because he's going to get thrown out the window again if he gets rid of him on Wednesday night.
You must be running out the cats. I
tell you one thing, Bouncy. He will be thrown out. Spenny, he will. If we
Good job, they've got 9 lives.
What's he called? The cat kicker from
George?
What's he called?
Honestly, he'd be thrown out and he'd be out all night. He won't be let in there in.
What a little bugger.
I don't think it's the worst Man United team in 30 years. They did play, like I said on your show yesterday, Steve. I thought Man U did play well against Arsenal, restricted, but they were all men behind the ball. And Arsenal had an off day. That was the worst I've seen Arsenal play in about 3 months. So, even so, I still think they're there for the take, and I will be seriously gutted if we don't beat them. If not a draw, but I'll be gutted. But overall, the game, getting back to Saturday, I thought Anderson was superb. Just the goal they conceded, let him down. Kraft was superb as well. And like Lewis Hall, like Ian said, he was good. But overall, we've got everything to play for. 2 games to go, lads. Let's do it. Let's get up for it and get 6 points in the bag.
Jody Toomba Life.
Can you change Alan's name to Alan Zuma?
Jody Toomba Life says, do you really want Wilson around if he's ill? The club doctor probably told him to stay away with 2 important games this week. And that's a great point, Jody Toomba Life. We don't really know what the situation is.
I just want to say, Steve, well done to the Heat in the final.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in the trophy, went on to win on penalties. Fantastic news. That great to see them win.
Hey Steve, just to jump on what Alan said about the press, what we done. If you look at, you've got to look at it tactically. So you set up to press. Yes, they missed the press, but it's a thing called a counter press. So you set up to where you have to win the ball back if the ball goes over the top of you or played through you. So you have to be in positionally, tactically, which we didn't do, to counteract what they're doing. So it's called a counter press. So you go 1s and 2s and you press 4s and 5s, but then everybody else has to get into position in behind to stop that ball into the midfield into Welbeck. So obviously that wasn't executed. I'm just elaborating a little bit deeper in terms of, yes, you have to get in a set solid position, narrow or whatever, but then there's got to be a counter press element, so you're in a position to win the ball back in a higher area to then go and counter attack yourself or go forward yourself. So totally agree with you what you're saying, but there's got to be some other tactical things what Eddie probably didn't maybe recognize or couldn't get across to the players. So just wanted to agree with you, but just a little bit more detail.
Big shout out to Sam in the chat as well. Yeah, no problem, mate. I know what you're talking about. Hopefully that gets sorted this weekend for you, mate. Not a problem at all. Okay, we're going to have a quick break with the ads, and then we'll be back to focus on the Manchester United game, which of course takes place on Wednesday. And just a reminder that we are broadcasting tonight on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Twitter. If you're enjoying the show and you've never watched us before, then why don't you get over to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube? And that means you can watch us 7 days a week. Here's the ads. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website skipsandbins.com, easy contract free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. Their website, mrvickies.co.uk, telephone 01768 210 102, or email info@mrvickies.co.uk. Thanks to United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460, or mobile 0791 666 4174. Thanks to Media Arts for the technical side of things. And you can also find us as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. You can subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button underneath this video. Hit the all notifications bell so you don't miss a show. Hit the thumb up to like the channel and click share to your social media. If you want to join the channel, then click join for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become a member, for a one-off £25 payment, email john@nufcmatters.com or go to membership at the website nufcmatters.com. If you've got a smartphone, hold your camera over the QR code and it'll take you straight there. We also help the food bank on this channel. Go to nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk to the matchday bucket and you can leave a virtual donation today. And don't forget, the end of season 2 takes place on the 20th of July. Tickets are a tenner in aid of Dementia Matters, Supermat and Gibbo, George, and the Long Sands or the entertainment. Tickets from newcastlelegends.com or nufcmatters.com. Tickets are £10. The Rob Lee tickets are still on sale at ticketmaster.co.uk or on Voucher, and that's Friday the 2nd of August, an evening with Rob Lee. And don't forget as well, early next year, an evening with the entertainers. Tickets on sale now, 0844 249 1000 or from Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. And we're coming into the final throws of the season on a breakfast time. Join me, Ryan, Ted, live on the Toon Radio, weekdays 7 till 9 a.m. On DAB, smart speakers, and the toonuk.com. We're going to do another full week next week, I think, and then we're having a 2-month sabbatical before we'll come back in for the pre-seasons. But been a lot of fun doing that, listening to Sunderland and Middlesbrough fans moaning and groaning as well. All right, Newcastle United do take on Manchester United on Wednesday night. And because we don't have an Amigos prior to the game, we've got Scunny Mag to give us his what 3 words and where to go if you're going to Old Trafford.
Hi folks, Scunny Mag Paul here. Manchester United away coming up for the 2nd time this season. Not managed to score a goal past us in all competitions so far. We've put 4 past them, 3 last time we were at theirs. Let's see if we can have this. It's been a bit of a busy week and weekend. I've had to use an old one. I hope I've tweaked the sound a bit so it was better than back in the olden days. It's coming up. If you're driving in, there's lots of car parks around the ground. Some of them you need to pre-book, some of them you don't. They're around about £10. It's very congested getting out, which makes my favourite the Lowry Mall in Salford Quays, just over the footbridge, 10 minutes walk to the ground. The postcode for that is M53AH, and it is going to cost you under £5 for 3 hours. So you need to arrive close to the match. The beauty of that one is it's straight out back onto the ring road and you avoid all of the traffic at the other side of the river. For those arriving by train, you'll probably come into Piccadilly. There are a couple of pubs around there. In fact, there's loads of pubs around there. But there's a couple that are specifically set up for away fans on match days. The Green Sports Bar and the Waldorf are 2 that are listed. You'll find them really easy. Follow all the black and white shirts out of the train station and listen for the singing. If it was me, I would stay there until near the game and then head up to the ground. But if you want to get closer, there are a few pubs around the ground. There's a Wetherspoons right nearby. It's mainly packed with Man United fans because it's a Wetherspoons and it's right nearby. But it is listed as away friendly. You probably won't get in with football colours, but if you turn up with any accent from the world, they'll probably think you're a Man United fan, including Geordie. The what 3 words for that is Luxury Tins Jungle, and the postcode is M32-0SF. 2 a little bit further out, probably better. Gorse Hill, it's on Chester Road. Postcode is M32-0PA, and your what 3 words is Milky Upset Demand. And the quadrant, found on a big roundabout with some shops nearby, is M32-8GR, and your what 3 words is Locals Offers Fresh. And once you're done drinking, get yourself up to the ground. The away end is on the east corner as the ground's laid out. And your what 3 words is my favourite what 3 words I've ever come across, because it just happens to be the most Geordie sounding what 3 words. So I'm going to do my drunk Geordie accent. It is proper sticky mint. I think that's excellent. Have a great day. Let's hope we smash them, and see you for the next one. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks to Paul, Scunny Mag. Good to see him as always, and thanks for his work during the season. So, George, Manchester United away, tough game because it's like a semi-final, final kind of feel to this one. It's an 8:00 kick-off. It's live on Sky Sports. Following the 1-0 win at St James's Park, of course, in the Premier League, Eddie Howe's side have got the chance to wrap up their first Premier League double against Manchester United. The last time we beat them home and away was back before your time, 1930-31 season. And since Edison Cavani's 71st minute leveller at St James's Park back in December 2021, Manchester United have failed to score in the Premier League against us in 289 minutes of play. This will be the 10th time that the two clubs have met, 3 times in the same season. Newcastle have never kept a 100% record intact in the previous 9. So, interesting, this big game. Bit of kidology maybe going on with the fact that they're saying that certain players may not be available. Obviously, we know Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Lindelof, Martial, and Malaysia are all unavailable. But there's talk that Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford may face the Magpies. Talk of Bruno Fernandes still missing out, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see on Wednesday night. The home form's not spectacular either. They've won 9 in the Premier League, they've drawn 3, they've lost 6. If there's never a better time to beat Manchester United than now and do the double over them, is there really? I don't think anyway, George.
It's a tough game. No matter how you look at it, it's Manchester United. But if there was a time to beat them, and surely it's now. If the right Newcastle United turns out on Wednesday, we'll beat them. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And as regards all this stuff about who's playing and not playing, I find it curious that ex-players like Rooney are telling the world that, well, he's not playing because he's not injured. He just doesn't want to play. Well, if that's right, what the hell sort of a dressing room's that? So if we can't capitalise on what's going on there, and this new idiot owner of theirs, Ratcliffe, I mean, he's stirring the pot all over the place. Well, keep stirring, Bonnie lad, because it's not doing us any good. And I'm quite optimistic for this one, but I'm optimistic for Newcastle all the time, aren't I? That we could do something there if they get off on the right foot. Kevin's always right. It's the starting on the right foot. If we sit back and let things flow past you in the first 20 minutes, we'll struggle. But if we go for it from the off, there's no reason why we shouldn't beat Manchester United, irrespective of Rashford or anybody else plays. Bruno Fernandes, if he plays, yes, he's a dangerous player, but you can use him as well. He makes mistakes. He can be hassled into all sorts of things because of his makeup, his temper. So all of that wouldn't bother me. If the right Newcastle turns up, then we've got a good chance. And I'm also reminded that in the cup, the what's it called? Cup, the League Cup, with Carabao Cup, we didn't have a chance, and we sent a team with Kraft and Dummett at centre back, and we whitewashed them. The two young fullbacks scored the goals, so and they're playing out of their skins at the minute for me, the 2 young ones. So yeah, I'm reasonably confident that if we get off on the right foot, we can beat Manchester United on Wednesday.
Prediction from you, George?
It's going to be a miserable game. It's going to be a lucky 1-0 win for Newcastle United.
All right, Kevin, what's your feelings about this game against Manchester on Wednesday?
Very confident based on their aging back four, and I just hope Casemiro plays there and drops off 15 yards like he did against Arsenal. What I've seen, which is one of the most like a schoolboy defender just sitting on the edge of the 6-yard box. So if he continues to do that with Johnny Evans along beside him, I think we've got a very good chance.
Zarvi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think regardless of like what George said, whoever comes in from their side in terms of Rashford, in terms of Bruno, and whoever it is, I'm not worried about them because I think the blow hot and cold, and you know, like again, I always said if we start the game well in terms of intensity, in terms of controlling the game, in terms of not just possession-based ideas, but in terms of not get the ball forward quickly. It's not going to go like route one. We're not just going to just lump it in there because we haven't got the players to play that way. But if we get the ball forward in a progressive way, in a positive manner, I think I wouldn't say be comfortable. Like Barry said previously before the ads, I'll be chewing my fingernails off down to the bone, probably because it's that big of a game. This will probably define pretty much the whole season in terms of where we will actually finish. And if they, again, it's all for me, it's all about the mentality and the positive mentality that we have to show. If we go there and just rock up and play the game 90 minutes and see what happens, that's not good enough. If we go there with an application to go and win the game and like we did in the Carabao Cup with, you know, what was it, 3-1 or whatever it was, or 3-0. I think we'll be comfortable winners to be, you know, but again, it's what we can do. I'm not worried about what they do. I'm more worried about because they play counter-attacking. They'll look to play longer. They'll look to play a bit more direct, sit in. But again, if we adopt the press in different ways, in different areas, win the ball high in the middle third, then I think we'll cause them problems with the attacking players that we'll have available. For me, if Isak's ill, whatever that means in terms of his illness, do you play him on the right side? Do you play like somebody with a bit more pace to get around Casemiro, who's pretty much my age and I could probably run faster than him, you know, and defend better than him because he's not a centre half. They're just papering over the cracks. Well, they need more than papering over the cracks with the stadium's tobacco. But I think if we get at them early, I think their fans, Man United fans, will get on top of them and start, you know, moaning and groaning and create a toxic atmosphere. Just what Brighton done to us essentially, but we didn't have that toxicity in the stadium from what your lads have said. But if we do that, I think we'll be relatively comfortable 2-0 winners at the end of the night and solidify our European spot for the next season.
Okay, prediction then. Are you going for another close one?
Me? I said 2-0.
2-0. Okay. What about you, Spenny? How are you feeling about this game on Wednesday?
One of the highlights of my season is seeing the downfall of Man United because I really hate them after the Mackhams. And that Wurzel Gummidge can do what he wants. He's still not going to plough any money into that club. Right? Anyway, back to the game. I think we'll be another cup, like George said, another cup performance. I'm very, very think we're going to win, definitely. And I hope we're going to win because the prayer mat will be out before the game. I think Ezek will score a hat-trick. I think we'll win 3-1. That's how confident I am. And once in a while, Man United used to look at their players and think they're being shopping in Harrods. Now they've been shopping at B&M.
No, you get a good deal at B&M.
They
I
haven't.
want that one free.
They haven't. I'm going for a permanent 3-1.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Big thanks to Kev. He's going to shoot off now to concentrate on his job and family. But thanks for coming on, Kev. Take care.
Good luck, Kevin. Good luck.
Cheers, Kev. Thank you.
Okay, so that means Alan, you've been promoted. So you're early with your review. Give us your take on this game on Wednesday.
Well, for me, instead of upsetting Barry, I think it's the best chance we'll have in 30 years, lads. The bookies say it's 50-50. If you remember 3-4 years ago, we were 8 or 9 to 1 to win down there. That shows you how they've fallen, how the mighty have fallen, you know. We'll never have a better chance.
Man, was 32 to be honest, you know. I've never known that before.
Mm-hmm. Never, Darren, honestly, I've never known would be like even going down there. And I've never felt so like expecting to win. I've always hoped to win, and we've always got beat 9 times up to 10. So I agree totally what Kevin says and George said and Spenny. We've got to start off fast, lads. We must set the tempo of the game instead of sitting back and letting them play. Arsenal scored the first goal. They didn't play well, Arsenal. I'm not saying they played great. They scored the first goal. They were all at sea for 10, 15 minutes. If we score first, we could score 2 or 3. I'm going for a 2-1 win. But I seriously will, lads. I'd be like devastated if we... I'd be happy with a draw. If we get a draw, it knocks them out. We'll be the 7th. But remember, lads, if we win and Chelsea lose, 6 is guaranteed because the goal difference between Chelsea and us is massive. So unless we lose 7 or 8-0 against Brentford, we'll be 6th place. If we win, obviously, and Chelsea lose, obviously the rules are reversed. If we get beaten, Chelsea win. But, you know, it's still all there to play for. But I'm going for a 2-1 win. I think it'll be nerve-wracking. Like Barry says, I'll be chewing nails, you know, head behind the settee because they'll have attacks. There'll be pressure on us. But if we withstand the pressure, I think we've got enough to win. It was our final ball on Saturday, Steve, like off Anthony Gordon and Bruno, and that let us down on Saturday. We're correct, Dad. We'll do it Burnley. We'll do it Burnley, man.
Pray for the cat, says Andy Davis. He implores Newcastle to win for the sake of the cat.
Bouncy won't like it.
Okay, Darren, give us a reality check. What's going to happen on Wednesday?
If we turn how we know we can play, I think we'll beat Man U quite comfortable. It's very rare I agree with Spenny. I fancy a 3-1.
Wow.
Have you got something in your cup of tea?
I think he's had three Weetabix for his tea, but Spenny, that's what it is.
He's borrowed some Valium off that whoever it was in the chat.
I'll Mackenzie Mother's husband, Ian.
I think anyhow we'll know if the team play. Let them know they didn't play well on Saturday, and I think he let them know he wants a better performance. And the way Man U are playing, I hate Man U. I can't stand them. I love to see them crying all the time. So I want to beat them so much. I think we'll go for the third time in a long time. I won't say confident, but I think when you want a good chance down there, they can do it. So for the Thursday ever, Steve, positivity on the Monday night off me.
I love it. Nothing wrong with it. Don't knock it. Barry, what's your feelings?
You can go back up the top row now, Darren.
Promoted. Barry, what's your feelings?
I mean, obviously a lot has been made about Bruno's reaction at the end of the Brighton game when he sits on the pitch on his own and he just looks desolate. I'm hoping that's going to egg them on. That that the only reason that was there is that he'd obviously felt he'd let them down against Brighton. Yeah. So I think he'd be so up for it. Fingers crossed that Eddie decides to stick Big Joe back in. I would drop Longstaff, bring Big Joe back in, and I think we'll hammer them. I just think we'll go for them. They're a Mickey Mouse team. It's the first time I can honestly say this Man United side. I don't have any fears. It's about what we do on the day. It's about us. It's not about them. If we play at the form, we can beat them. It's just whether we'll keep the confidence going away from home because we're more than capable. Gordon could tear their defence apart if he has a good game.
I would drop Longstaff like Barry because he gives the balance to the team. I'll drop Murphy and put Joe Linton in the midfield.
I'll go with that. As long as Big Joe plays, I think he'll give us that bit of solidity that we can go at them. I totally agree with what Alan said. I think they're there for the taking. I think this is the season when we can do it now. I totally agree with the lads. I hate Man United with a passion. I would have to to quote the maestro, I would love it if we beat them. I would absolutely love it if we come above Man United for the first time. Is it the first time in the Premier League? We would finish above them, and it would sicken them so much. All these stories today about Liverpool set to bid 100 million for Anthony Gordon and Isaac and Arsenal and all this crap. It would just be nice to stick one up one of the big six and finish where we deserve this season. So I think it's going to be close. Like I say, I think my fingernails are going to take a battering. I'm going for 2-1, but I think we've got enough to do it, Steve. Fingers crossed.
All right, Ian's biting his fingernails already. What's your feelings on the game on Wednesday?
I'm just worried about bouncing off all the walls.
Give us your views, then, mate, on the game.
I'm going down, and I said to Emily last night, I'm staying with my best mate's a Man United fan. Unfortunately, he lives in Salford, so I'm going down tomorrow, taking my good pal from up here, and we're having 3 days down there. And I said to Emily, I went, if we don't get a result down there, I'm going to punch a copper and get locked up, because I'm not staying at that prick's house for another night. Like, you know. So,
of course, he's not going to punch a police officer. That is all just purely for entertainment purposes.
We all right punching cats, we're not police.
Yeah.
He didn't say he was punching it. He said he was not letting it back in the house, and he was putting it out the house. But we don't endorse animal cruelty either on this channel. No. Yes.
No. Or punching cats.
Alan, did you get that, Alan?
Obviously.
Yeah. Obviously.
No.
So you're going down. What's your prediction going to be, Ian?
My prediction is if we get stuck into them early doors and we go out, like all the lads have said, if we attack them from the start, and I would like to see, even if Big Joe hasn't got 90 minutes in him, I'd like to see us start Joe, because he will kick a few of them into the stand and they don't like it. You know, we need to get stuck into them. And I don't mean be dirty. I just mean be strong, be competitive, win the second ball, which is when we haven't been great, is when we've let other teams do what we do to other teams when we are great. You know, when we get amongst them and you know, we're like little, like when you've got Gordon buzzing around like a wasp, stinging them all. You know, I think we need to start fast, let them know we're there, and if they play Casemiro centre back, and he. Even if Isak's got pneumonia, he's gonna have some fun against him, like, because he is never a centre back, is he? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Darren and Spenny as well, and say like I'm going for a Penman 3-1.
Okay, I'm not going to have a poem about Bouncy, Alan, but you've reminded us that I've got your poem to read. Alan McKenzie in the chat, he wrote this a few weeks back, and he sent it to us, and I haven't had time to read it out because Mozza wrote one, he wrote one. Jeff Allen in the Domino Card, it's called. Grandad smoked his woodbine as he waited for the bus outside Pettica's garage opposite the Trust. We were off to St. James's Park, September 68. I kicked my heels against the wall. I hoped it wasn't late. A 12-year-old and his granddad off to see the tune. A European adventure, please don't let we doon. Feyenoord were waiting, a boy began to dream. On the bus, a window seat, debating the team. A domino card did the rounds. My granddad, he chose 2. We were off singing proud, howe'er the mighty tune. Come on without, come on within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty win. He didn't let us down that night, nor did Robson, Scott and Gibb. But the memory I took away that night was the vision of a lad who ran the show of that, no doubt, and tore the Dutch apart. Jeff Allen was his name, a future legend in the game. A standing ovation he did receive at Pax St. James's, we believe. Sadly, this was not to be, as Jeff succumbed to injury. But that night I remember to this day, Fairs Cup glory, we're on our way. The night got better on the bus. Domino card was drawn with such a fuss. 4-4, Grandad 4 blank me, 10 Bob Richer, tune memory. Well done, Alan. Great poem, mate.
Yeah, very nice.
Fantastic stuff. And
Andy, because Elliot Anderson, Jeff Allen's grandson.
Yeah, so a good time to see it when he had such a good game at the weekend. Andy Davis, great show apart from the cruelty to cats, and love the poem, says Peacock Whites of Leeds. Good luck in the second leg, Peacock. I'm sure you'll do well. You got the away draw. You just need to win it at home. If you've been watching on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, then please Don't forget, you can join us on YouTube. You just need to go to NUFC Matters on YouTube, hit subscribe. It is free, and we do 7 shows a week. I am back tomorrow night, pre-recorded show tomorrow, Talk of the Tune, 6 o'clock with Rob and with Sid, and look forward to being back live. For Geordie's here, Geordie's there at the slightly earlier time of 5 o'clock on Wednesday night. But for now, thanks to Kevin, who left us earlier, Alan, Ian, Barry, Spenny, and George. Great show tonight, Captain.
Love Emily, Ian. Love Emily.
Will do, mate. She's just in
So what's mine next week, Steve?
Take care, guys.
Love the bouncy. Love the bouncy.